Hello and welcome to another video by Toy Polloi. In today's Fix It guide we're going to take a look at frosting. Now if you haven't heard of frosting before, this is something you should keep an eye out for. If you see here in front of me I have a carded Jedi figure. This figure has never been off the card, it's still sealed and it should be as mint as can be. But if you look closely at his feet you'll notice there is some frosting appearing on the plastic. It's look like a white sort of residue. Looks a bit like mould, but reading on forums it's not mould, it's something to do with the degradation of the plastic. You can see it clearly on his boot there, and also on his arms it's starting to appear as well. So today we're going to look at how to remove this. I've been reading up on it quite a lot, reading what other people have suggested to do, and there seem to be a few techniques that you can use. So I'm going to try a few of those today, and the first one that works will be the one obviously that I will show you. So the recommended ways of doing it are either putting the figure in direct sunlight for a short amount of time, and this should remove the frosting. Another method is to put it under a incandescent bulb for a short while, and the heat of the bulb should sort of remove the frosting. So I'm going to take this a step sort of to the side slightly, because I don't like the idea of a bulb, because a bulb could melt it. I don't like the idea of the sunlight, because UV damages the plastic. So the first thing I'm going to try is to put this against a sort of lukewarm radiator and let it warm up slowly on a radiator. So let's go ahead and try that. So after about an hour on the radiator, I didn't find that treatment worked particularly well. Some of the frosting had started to go, but it was a very slow process, and I was a bit worried that it would damage the bubble. So I'm now going to move on to using a desk lamp and see if that will work. So what I'm going to do now is use my desk lamp. As you can see here, I'll just bring it into shot, and I'm going to place it very close to the card. Well, about sort of 5 or so centimetres away from the carded figure, and leave it under there and see what happens. It looks like this will be the better way of doing it. It's definitely the heat that is fixing this, not light or anything. So it's just warming up the figure slowly. So I think this is a nice way of warming it up without damaging the blister or the card or the figure. So here we have the finished thing, and it's worked very well. It takes a fairly long time. It took me about an hour to get the whole of this figure done by turning it and putting it at different angles, because some of this stuff, some of the frosting, especially around the boots, was on the back side of the boot. So if I show you now, you can see that all of that frosting has gone and it's back just to looking like normal plastic. And that goes for the stuff that was up on his arm as well. It's all sort of disappeared. It took, as I say, about an hour to do, gently sort of moving the card a bit so that it was at some angles and then at different angles, and the end result though is very good. So if you have any of these old, seems to affect all sorts of figures, but I've been dealing with Star Wars figures today, any vintage carded figures that have frosting on them, put them under a light, with the light not that far away from it, just to warm the plastic up, and it does get rid of the frosting. Of course, if you have loose figures, then I would recommend just washing them in sort of a mild soapy water using I use old toothbrushes and things like that just to brush it off, and that clears off the frosting as well. So there you go, that's how to remove frosting from carded vintage action figures, and thanks for watching.